Hello, this is Adit, and I will be discussing Act 3, Scene 4 of the Shakespearean play Macbeth. Act 3, Scene 4 occurs right after the assassination of Banquo by murderers that Macbeth had ordered. Macbeth feared the witch's prophecy about Banquo's sons becoming the next king, and thus decided to change his prediction. Act 3, Scene 4 is basically Macbeth hallucinating the ghost of Banquo, in which he ordered the death of during a feast. It is possibly due to the guilt that the ghost appears, since it seems that only Macbeth can see the ghost, but no one else could. His actions unnerved the lords and also drew the attention of Lady Macbeth, which also leaves the readers wondering whether the Macbeths are still in control of their fate. At the start of Act 3, Scene 4, Macbeth is holding a feast at Forest for him and his lords. The first murderer enters and reports to Macbeth regarding the success of Banquo's murder, but the escape of Fleance, Banquo's son. This causes Macbeth to once again return to his paranoia, but then he decides that Fleance is still too young, and that, quote, "in time will venom breed," end quote, and that Fleance has, quote, "no teeth for the present," end quote. Deciding that Fleance is still too young to do any harm, and dismisses it, Macbeth proceeds with the feast. But he then sees the ghost of Banquo sitting on his seat. One cannot be sure if it is a ghost of supernatural presence, or whether it is simply a figment of Macbeth's imagination. It is, however, safe to assume that it is the latter, and that it is caused by the guilt Macbeth feels for killing his friend. Macbeth reacts to the ghost, however. Since the others could not see the ghost, they are confused as to why Macbeth is so distressed. Lady Macbeth attempts to calm the lords, and tells them to return to what they were previously doing. Lady Macbeth then scolds Macbeth on his actions and compares it to Macbeth's previous hallucination of an air-drawn dagger, which supposedly led Macbeth to Duncan, right before Duncan's murder. Lady Macbeth further scolds him for his display of fear. Macbeth ignores his wife and challenges the ghost to speak. The ghost, however, disappears. Macbeth then comments on how the dead now return instead of staying dead. Lady Macbeth reminds Macbeth of the presence of the guests, and Macbeth swiftly recovers to make a toast for the feast. Ironically, Macbeth addressed the toast to Banquo. The ghost of Banquo reappears once more, and Macbeth can't help but resort to insults to command the ghost away. The ghost vanishes, and Macbeth states that he is now a man again. Macbeth then comments on why his wife is not afraid when he is clearly afraid of the sights he sees. This is clearly because only Macbeth can see the ghost. Macbeth's comment prompted Ross to question what it is Macbeth is seeing. Uncomfortable with the question, Lady Macbeth swiftly orders everyone to leave en masse, regardless of their class. After the lords have left, Macbeth broods on how throughout history various supernatural forces intervene with murders, making a connection to his own situation to cover up for his fear and delusions. Macbeth muses over why Macduff had decided not to come to the banquet, and then tells his wife that he must see the three witches once more to find out his future. Macbeth reaches the conclusion that he has gone too far to fall back, and that no matter what he does from now on will not change anything that has already happened. Macbeth then decides to continue his evil and eliminate all that stand in his way. Lady Macbeth is worried because of this, and tells Macbeth that he needs to sleep. Macbeth agrees, but still has the last words, as he states that his hallucinations are the cause of inexperience, and implies that he will get over them once he attains more. This scene references Act 2, Scene 1, where Macbeth imagines a dagger that pointed the way to Duncan, supposedly encouraging Macbeth to proceed with the murder. After the murder of Duncan, Lady Macbeth comments on his fear for killing Duncan as the result of the hallucination, and again comments on Macbeth's fear of the hallucination in the scene. The idea of being a man, or what it is to be a man, repeats itself several times throughout the play, with Macbeth saying it in this scene that he has returned to become a man once the ghost disappears. Seeing as how Lady Macbeth believes this is caused due to fear, a negative emotion, one could then also reach the conclusion that Macbeth feels guilty for killing his longtime friend and comrade in arms, that he fears the consequences of his actions. This is a sign of his morality rebelling against his previous actions. In this scene, Lady Macbeth is portrayed similar to previous scenes as one to quickly dismiss morality and worries more on not being exposed, and thus tries to draw the attention away from Macbeth and defuse the situation, however, without much success. In the end, Lady Macbeth simply orders everyone to leave, acting on that fear. This polarization of the Macbeths, of one fearing exposure and of one fearing for his morality, is particularly interesting once one reaches the end of this scene, where Macbeth changes completely. At the end of the scene, Macbeth decides that he has gone too far to turn back, and that he must ignore his morality and continue proceeding with his evil plans without remorse. This prompts Lady Macbeth to worry for her husband's sanity. It seems that the roles have been reversed. Previously, Lady Macbeth had to challenge Macbeth to commit murder. Now, however, she worries for her husband, and Macbeth now decides to kill independently, without being influenced by his wife. This scene is a quite interesting scene, and is probably the climax where Macbeth loses control of his fortune, and things start spiraling down for him and his wife. One can now only presume when Macbeth's evil will see its own undoing. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.